It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
Yeah, in that Alex Jones podcast with Rogan, they were talking about the craziest things last fall.
The absolute
like third dimension.
thing.
What is it?
They're talking about third dimension. So basically, like, all right. So basically, like, this is where we'll go a little conspiracy. You might or might not like this because we're gonna challenge some stuff.
Look at me. Do you believe this? The third dimension, or?
Well, I mean, the science proves we're in the third dimension.
Okay. Tell me about. I don't even know about.
Okay,
this,
so like, we're living in a plane, right? We're living on a globe or a flat Earth. Who fucking knows, right?
Wait, do you believe in flat Earth?
No, I just no.
Kyrie Irving?
No, I don't believe in flat Earth, but I do think that's it. I listened to a funny comedy podcast the other day, and they had the best flat earther on debate a comedy guy. And dude, the comedy guy got his ass whooped. So the flat earthers.
I really did know a guy who was unapologetically a flat earther.
Dude, the guy
he was giving me reasons.
Dude, he had some good arguments, and I think a real astrophysicist, like a guy can really explain why the Earth is round, is going to do better than a comedian. But
yeah, my father-in-law is a pilot actually.
Yeah, so like they
so
can.
It's
really,
like I see the curvature in the sky.
They can explain a lot of stuff. But so basically, third dimension, we're living on a place where there's 12 dimensions around us. Our brain and our eyes can only like adapt to three-dimensional spaces, right? So there's an argument when you take specifically DMT, dimethyltryptamine. It's produced throughout your body. Your body is taking it all the time. It's in plants that you eat. Your stomach has an enzyme that produces it and breaks it down so you don't trip balls when you have salad. But you can either smoke it, inject it, this, that, and the third. And a lot of people believe that the pineal gland is the gland that produces it. Yeah. And that's why it's like in the Vatican and the pine cone. There's a lot of different things biblically in it. And they believe that the dimethyltryptamine, like people that have like near-death experiences or people that like died and came back to life, that's like, oh, I seen God and Jesus. Yeah. Their body went through such a stress that their pineal gland released that's an argument, that their body released dimethyltryptamine through their brain and their body was just flushed with DMT. And so basically when you smoke it, it's like only 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. It's by far the strongest thing, like instantly you like blast off. Like it's not like when you're high, you're like, oh, I'm still here. Like you literally go into a fucking other world. So, which is pretty crazy. Wow. So some people don't even get to the point of breaking through. And that's basically what you're talking about and what Alex Jones and them. But like the moment you take a hit within like 10 seconds, everything changes. And like there's an argument that the reality or other dimensions are there and therefore like kind of revealed to you. And you have different like kind of like little aliens and little like beings in there that are like machine elves that are telling you different things. A lot of it is like thought is creation.
And is there persons? Like, is there people in the third dimension?
So there's like little there's
elves. I heard elves,
machine elves or like little jingle. Like Rogan said last time he did it, he saw jesters, like little jesters.
Do you know Michael Malice?
Yeah, Michael Malice. He's a really interesting guy. He's an anarchist. I don't agree with anarchy, but I love hearing him talk. I think he's crazy. We need police and order, but I like hearing him talk. But the idea with the dimethyltryptamine is you can take a strong dosage and you break through. And everyone that's broken through basically has a similar experience where they either see their whole life flash through, like moments where like your mother meets your father, like, and you see it, you're there, like in like that memory is inside of you, which is crazy. You're not even born. And you see it, you see them interact, and then basically you get to a place where you meet like a God figure, and it's all basically the same account where you meet a godly figure, and he tells you what it is to be a good person, to be a good human being, morals and stuff like that. And that's why there's a big argument, like the acacia bush is rich in DMT, and I believe it's the Old Testament was Moses was standing by the acacia bush, I think at Mount Sinai or whatever it was, and the acacia bush is burning. And he went and had a DMT trip and came back with the 10 Commandments. Yeah. That's a theory. That's the drug conspiracy. Yeah. That's the drug community conspiracy.
Rogan believes that?
Rogan believes that. No, I think he believes that shit. But no, there is an argument for that. And but specifically like DMT, you take it and you meet like this godly figure, and he tells you that's like the whole the Lord. But also you see like great, like the most like. Imagine like what people like, oh, this is what happens on LSD, like
Stranger Things kind of stuff.
Yeah, like that is DMT. Yeah, DMT.
Well, now you said it's a natural thing.
It's natural. It's
I really don't know anything
plants,
about it.
It's in your body. Your body produces it. For a while, they thought your pineal gland was producing it. I'm actually reading a book on it. I just started it by Dr. Rick Strassman from the University of New Mexico.
Okay.
So he was just ministering to a bunch of people and studying it and stuff like that. And the documentary that came out about it was narrated by Joe Rogan. So, but yeah, it's really interesting. And same thing with psilocybin. Like sometimes psilocybin trips and MDMA and stuff like that, they can have very similar reactions. And ayahuasca too. Ayahuasca is the same drug of DMT. DMT is like the synthetic version kind of, and you smoke it. Like you can get a frog. There's a specific frog toad. You scrape off his slime. You let it crust up, and it's pure DMT.
Really?
Yeah, and you smoke it, and you go to fucking Jupiter.
Really?
Yep. And then there's ayahuasca, and that's only 15 minutes long. It feels like you just experienced a whole life experience. 15 minutes long. You snap out of it, you come right back to normal, right to homeostasis, because your body's producing it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's so comfortable with DMT.
So it's a natural thing.
It's a natural thing.
So
you
interesting.
Can't overdose or anything.
My gosh.
That's the one thing about the psychedelics, like you can dose a human, you give him so much ketamine, mushrooms, but and his body's gonna be your brain gonna be fucking tweaking, but your body's gonna be pretty good the whole time. Like when you take Xanax and stuff, your blood pressure is all fucked up, and it's really interesting, the physiological state. And they're also proving that psychedelics, you're having different neurological connections, and they're helping you make recovery connections, make better connections, make smarter, quicker, easier connections for depression, anxiety, and stuff. It's really pretty interesting, beneficial stuff.
There's a whole science behind it. Is it sort of new?
It's somewhat new. I think Oregon's the first state to actually legalize recreational.
That was crazy. I thought it was
recreational psilocybin. I think that's insane. You can go to the store and buy mushrooms. But again, I like.
But you said it earlier in the.
I know. Do we want a society running around fucking doped up on mushrooms? Probably not.
But how many people will do that?
Exactly.
I mean, how many?
You could get drunk, right? You could go to the store, buy $20 of liquor, and die. You know,
exactly. You could, drink
the whole handle and die.
Or I could take 40 aspirins and die.
40 aspirins and die. Yeah, you can.
Or
you can go to the store right now and you can tell your doctor you're depressed, and he'll give you medication like it's nothing.
Yeah, DMT. Like I said, I don't really know anything about it. I've heard.
I'll be honest. When it comes to psychedelics, I genuinely believe intellectual people are missing out on it.
Okay.
I know you're Christian and drugs are maybe not the way to go, but you should really. Psychedelics are so interesting and fascinating, and they're a big history of who we are as mammals or apes, and huge with religion.
Yeah,
beneficial towards religion.
Yeah,
people would take it and get together and trip.
Yeah,
together
I think
and
it's something to
and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's something to learn about for sure.
For sure.
So,
there's a guy, Brian. I have his book, The Immortality Key, and he breaks down how he was actually a scholar that never took any drugs, and I think he took it recently, but when he wrote his book, he didn't take it because he didn't want scholars to be like, oh, you're just a drug guy, confirmation bias.
Yeah.
So he basically followed all the evidence, and a lot of the Greek mythology was all pointed to this place called Eleusis, where they would go take this fermented wine mixed with mushrooms, and they would basically trip out and see, what I'm talking about. They would see a godly figure. Yeah. And people like Plato and some of the highest Greek philosophers would go there and tell Greek and Roman people this is phenomenal. The smartest people should go here. We should ritualize it. And there is an argument that the Roman Catholic Church didn't want that to happen because they didn't want people to reach a godly figure without the form of the church. Yeah. So people were like, dude, I'm taking this drug and I'm fucking talking to God and Jesus and figuring out life. And it's well, we don't really want that to happen. Yeah. So they stigmatize maybe psychedelics, you lose your mind and you're witches. And it does, you do have girls that are doing witchcraft and weird fucking paganism stuff.
Yeah.
So it opens up a can of worms. But I do think for the intellectual person, even if you're not that, it's so beneficial. It's really humbling. It's really humbling.
Yeah, I would say definitely I need to at least read up on it.
For sure.
Yeah, I definitely
read the science, bro.
There's books I can get. Yeah.
Even Paul Stamets, he's a mycologist, a mushroom scientist, been on Joe Rogan. One of the most interesting podcasts I've ever listened to. Really.